Hey everybody, it's Niall. Welcome back to Niall Reads and Smiles. Okay, so today I have a really fun video that you guys actually requested for me to do. This video was inspired by a book that I recently read called Save the Date by Morgan Matson. This was the July Fiction Faction Book of the Month and I absolutely enjoyed it. It was super fun to read, but I mentioned that I actually have another Morgan Matson book on my shelf that's super old. And anyways, one of you guys ended up commenting saying, hey, you should do a video talking about the oldest books on your TBR list, or at least like on your bookshelf. I thought it was a fantastic idea because I have some ridiculously, like I have some books that have been on my shelf for like 4 years, you guys. Anyway, so I just pulled a few of those books off my shelf and I thought I would talk about them and maybe like, yeah, just kind of like go through some of the old books on my TBR list. And all these books are books that I still really want to read. I just never got around to them. New books came out. You guys know the story. Anyways, before I get into everything, today's video is sponsored so kindly by Squarespace. Squarespace is an all-in-one platform that can help you build a website, whether you're a business owner, if you want to sell stuff online, if you just want to start a vlog or blog with a B. No matter what your website needs are, Squarespace is the place to go. They have award-winning customer service, so if you're like an absolute beginner to building a website and don't really know where to go, if you need help, if building a website seems like a really daunting task because of just like, I don't know, because you've never done it before, definitely go with Squarespace because they just have people there available to help you, to guide you through the process. Get a beautiful professional looking website with the ease of just a few clicks. Definitely check out the link below if you guys want to just like get a free trial first to see if you like it, and then if you do want to move forward and create a website with Squarespace, I have a link so you guys can get 10% off, so definitely go check that out. But all right, let's get into this video because I have a bunch of books sitting stacked on the floor that I have not literally seen in like 3-4 years, and I'm excited to talk about them. Okay, so let's first talk about the book that inspired this whole like video. Since You've Been Gone by Morgan Matson. When I started reading this book, this newer Morgan Matson book, I mentioned that I've had Since You've Been Gone on my shelf since like 2015, I think. This book came out in May 2015. This book follows two best friends, and I believe one of them moves away or ends up going somewhere during the summer and leaves the other friend a bunch of like a bucket list of things to do. And this honestly like still sounds like an amazing book to me. I just haven't gotten around to reading it, but after reading this Morgan Matson, I keep turning it backwards. After reading this Morgan Matson book, I just like, I'm so excited to now read Since You've Been Gone, and I hope to get to it before the end of this summer. So maybe in the month of August, I will read this book because I definitely want to jump on it when it's like still the season to read these kind of books. I mean, you could read these books whenever, but I just, you know, it's summer and it feels like a good time to read this. So this next book, I didn't even know I had until I went and like picked it off my bottom shelf. I'll Meet You There by Heather Demetrios, and I think I read, did Heather Demetrios write the series about the gin? Is that the same author? Okay, wait, I'm gonna put the book here, but this is a book that I actually DNF'd because it was just really bad. But this was like a totally different genre, and I believe this is a contemporary book. But this book follows two main characters, a guy and a girl, and they work at a little motel off the side of a highway. And it just sounds like one of those books that's gonna have a ton of really funny dialogue. I mean, whenever you put two characters like in a workspace or like stuck somewhere, like you always end up getting really funny dialogue out of the situation. And I don't know why I haven't read this yet. I mean, the more I'm talking about it, the more I want to read it. But yeah, I'll Meet You There. This book, I don't know when this book came out. We're just gonna be flipping through, checking dates. I think it came out in 2015 as well. I remember I ordered this off of Book Outlet. Oh my god, you guys, this book came out in 2006. Okay, so this is definitely a book that's been on my shelf for a while. I didn't get it when it first came out. I think I got it back in like 2014. But yeah, this book came out a while ago. It still has like a really nice like modern cover, I personally think. But let me know if you've read this one, and if you guys like it, maybe I'll throw it on my TBR list for August. All right, okay, so this next book, I remember wanting to read this book so bad. I don't know what happened. Like, all these books were up on my TBR list, but I guess got bumped down when I started reading Sarah J. Maas or something. I don't know. This book is Starters by Lisa Price. I don't know if you guys can see the cover. Ooh, this gives me like Game of Thrones vibes for some reason, like the White Walkers. This book is a dystopian book, and it takes place in the future when you can actually like rent out your body so that someone who's like really old can switch minds with you and like be young again and like live in your body, which sounds really weird but really cool at the same time. This follows our main character, who I believe she's comes from a lower income family, or she's poor, and like the last resort, the last thing that she has to sell is basically her body and to rent it out to someone. And I'm not sure what ends up happening. Maybe she gets stuck in an old person body. something, I don't know, but it just sounded like a really cool concept, and I definitely want to read this soon because it's been on my, I know this has been on my shelf since 2015. All right, the next book is one that I think my sister read. If you guys remember Linnea, she like hardly ever reads books. But when she does, she will be reading a cutesy contemporary book, you know, like Anne and the French Kiss, which I still haven't read. My Life Next Door by Huntley Fitzpatrick, and I believe this follows a main character who has a crush on her next door neighbor. But our main character comes from like a very like pristine, like everything in order kind of like family, whereas her neighbor, he comes from like a loud, messy family, and they just really contrast each other. And some tragedy of some sort brings the two together, or at least that's what I'm getting from the synopsis. But I've had this book, like I can tell you, this is like, I've had this book on my shelf since my very first YouTube video, I think, and I still haven't read it. Anyways, it's definitely one that I want to get to. My sister really liked it, so yeah. The last book that I have here, that this book has been on my shelf since it came out back in, I'm flipping through to find the date again, 2015. These are all like 2015 books. I guess they're not too old. I honestly didn't start really seriously collecting books until 2015. So I don't think you guys will see books that I've had like any older than that. This last book is Geek Girl by Holly Smale, and this follows our main character who, she's a geek girl sort of, and she ends up getting scouted by like a modeling agency or something like that, and is thrown into like this whole modeling sort of industry. And I think our main character is 15. So this is like what I consider like the cusp of like middle grade and young adult fiction. But I don't know, these kind of books I don't really read so much anymore. Like I don't know if I'll ever get to this book. I've started it a few times, as you can see, and I just was never able to really get into it. I felt like it was a little too light for me, which sounds like a weird excuse not to read a book. Yeah, I've had this on my shelf forever, and yeah. But anyways, those are some of the oldest books I have on my shelf. I probably have more. There might be a part 2 to this video, but those are the ones that I just really stuck out to me. But let me know if you guys have read any of these books and if you think I should read any of them, and I'll definitely give them a chance. Thank you guys so much for watching. Until next time, keep reading, and I'll talk to you guys later.